Okay, go
My
ahead.
name is Rosa Ransom. I'm here at the East Topeka Senior Citizen. I'm 82 years old. I'm the mother of 10 children. 9 are still living. I moved to Topeka. Before moving to Topeka, I lived in Kansas City, Kansas. I went to attic school in Rosedale, Kansas at that time. It was called Rosedale. Um, from there, we were bused to um, let's see, we were bused to further into Kansas, where I went to school at Northeast High and Sumner High. There I left. I got pregnant early in life, and at 16, and I moved to what then was called South Park. Now it's called Merriam, Kansas. South Park. I lived right beside the Webb family. The Webb family had large families. In fact, all of the families at that time had large families in that area. So Miss Webb had a family of 10 children too. I lived next door too, and she rented. She was a school teacher, and she started the school. Her and several other women. I don't want to mention their name because I cannot exactly remember their names. They started this school, which was called Madam C.J. Walker School. That's what it was named. They were there, and it was integrated. There were some white children that went, but mostly black children, and mostly her children and friends around their children. From there, had a vote. They wanted a new school because where they were at was in a church building. It looked like that's what it was, a church building. They wanted a new school, so they had to get votes out. Well, the white vote overturned them. So the white people got the money for the school. Then the school was turned into South Park School, where it began to be integrated. I think my ex-husband, my husband of my first 8 children, that's the school that he went to, had to go to that school. They went to that school. But first, the white people did not want them to go to the new school. So it was a fight about that. And finally, they were able to go to the new school. Well, they had a lot of problems with calling names and different things like that. So time when I moved there, I may have been around 1954. That's when my first child was born. And so she turned 5. So it was about 5 or 6 years later, she went to school. Well, she would always come home and tell me about how the children used to tease her and call her names and different things like that. Of course, we just tell the children, keep on going to school. Keep your mind on what the teacher is saying. We didn't know nothing else to tell the children how to solve some of the problems. The Webbs was a big family of them out there, and I'm sure that my mother was raised out there too, and her husband was stepdad was Deacon Williams, and I'm sure he was part of the progress of making this work out. Okay. As I rode on up, I moved from there, South Park, which is now Merriam, Kansas, to Kansas City, Missouri. In Kansas City, Missouri, I was taking adult education at the Paseo YWCA. One day on the news, it came on the news for everybody to get out of the building. We ran out of the building, and just as I stepped out of the front of the building, that was on 19th and Paseo. As I stepped out of the building, there were people running from curb to curb. If you got in the way, you'd have to run too, because it's like running water. I can never forget the sound of the feet of the people running. But people were running because somebody had killed Martin Luther King. It was a very sad day for us everywhere. Things had changed. Things had begun to change then, immediately, right after he was assassinated. Because there were places we could not go that we could go. Like to the movies. As a kid, I'm remembering the things that a child would do, like riding the bus. I could hear my dad saying when he rode the bus how he'd had to bring things home from work that the white people give him to work on our house. And he'd have to sometimes stand up all the way home, carrying the pieces of wood or whatever he needed
Hmm.
to work on our house. But after Martin Luther King passed away, things did begin to really change for black people. I can't remember all because I was still fairly young myself of the changes that was being made.